So we all know that Disney is in disarray right now. Their last, I don't know, basically every movie they put out nowadays doesn't make any money. The live action remakes, whether it's Little Mermaid, as we know, at best broke even, but probably lost money. And understand that if you spend $300 million on something, breaking even is not a victory. We have all of the hate around the Snow White remake, the hilarity around them trying to float race swapping Hercules. So the Disney future is not bright. Star Wars future, not bright. Nobody cares about Star Wars movies anymore. They oversaturated the market. The last couple of Star Wars movies, I think they all probably made a little bit. One of them lost money, I think, but most of them probably made a little bit of money. We know that all of the money they spent on that Star Wars experience thing that they had in Disney, complete failure. They closed it down in like 2 years' time. We go to Marvel, smaller and smaller and smaller returns for their movies. There was a big expose today about how Marvel essentially is giving up on the woke nonsense because they're getting crushed. Nobody cares about the Avengers when it's not Iron Man, Black Widow, the Incredible Hulk, and the core crew. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares about Ironheart's, Riri Williams Ironheart. Nobody cares about Ms. Marvel. Nobody cares about Captain Marvel. Nobody cares about Monica Rambeau. Nobody cares about She-Hulk. That very same article, by the way, revealed that the cost per episode for She-Hulk, hold on to your hats, was $25 million. If you've seen She-Hulk, you know how terrible it looked. I am telling you, the budget per episode, $25 million. That means they spent $200 million producing 8 episodes, if my math is right. $200 million on that. It was a financial disaster. That's just, have I covered everything? Lucasfilm's, Indiana Jones franchise, dead. Dial of Destiny lost $300 million. Now, a rumor of a, quote, nuclear bomb full of emails and notes detailing Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm Story Group's disgusting behavior set to be released. It couldn't have come at a better time. It couldn't have come at a better time. In the wake of Gina Carano putting Kathleen Kennedy, by the way, this is via boundingintocomics.com. Good reporting on their part on this. In the wake of Gina Carano putting Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm on blast, a new rumor details that a massive trove of emails and notes about Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm Story Group members revealing how bad their behavior is will be made public in the very near future. The rumor comes in the wake of Kathleen Kennedy being lampooned by South Park and recent comments by Gina Carano summarizing how Kennedy treated her when she was fired from The Mandalorian. Reacting to a clip from South Park joining the Pandaverse, Carano wrote, quote, "This is the part where Kathleen Kennedy demands any YouTubers get censored off YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because they are the ratio she'll receive. Then she'll have her publicists, ghouls, make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about South Park creators and their families, smearing their names through every useful idiot she has under her thumb who would sell their soul to work for Lucasfilm." Well, we know that we already saw articles in the Hollywood Reporter covering this. Here's the Hollywood Reporter. South Park mocks Kathleen Kennedy, Disney Discovery. They ran defense for her, tried to blame Kevin Feige. Which, by the way, I blame Kevin Feige too. I understand why the mainstream media is trying to blame Kevin Feige because they're literally trying to pass the buck and make it a man's fault. But I'm not letting Kevin Feige off the hook. Kevin Feige flew too close to the sun. He had a good thing. That good thing ended with Endgame. Then he thought, hey, great idea. Let's just focus on the skin color of the characters and not writing good stories. And to be fair, they have made bad Marvel movies with their core with their core actors. But then it became all they cared about. And we see this with The Marvels, which is now gone different predictions. First, it was 75 to like 150 million opener for The Marvels, which would be a disaster by their numbers, which doesn't sound that bad. But again, that movie needs to make 600-700 million just to break even. Now, new estimates say 35 to 45 million, which is impossible for me to believe. I would be absolutely flabbergasted if that movie made less than 50 million at the box office. I suppose we'll see in a few weeks. She wrote then she'll activate their online mob to repeat the South Park creators are racist, bigot, transphobes, and demand South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of. We talked about this. And finally, she'll demand they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in the LGBTQ community Zoom call to sit there and listen to how badly they got their feelings hurt all over a little boop of a South Park episode, she concluded, but maybe the jig is up. Carano would reveal in another post under Kennedy's leadership at Lucasfilm, she was asked to unfollow people on social media because they said a bad thing about Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, if that's true, which, by the way, I 100% believe Gina Carano when she says that this is true. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, but wouldn't that be like absolutely hilarious on every level? You have emails inside of Disney, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? A multi-billion-dollar corporation sending emails crying about YouTubers making fun of her. It was already like this hilarious. The idea of it to me was, the very idea of it was laughable to me, hilarious in every conceivable way. But if there's actual email evidence of this, wow. Now, in the wake of the two posts, YouTuber Drunk 3PO, which, if you know, he is a very good friend of Gina, noted on Culture Casino's Late Night Culture that this nuclear bomb would soon be made public. He asserted, quote, the day is coming, I know the day is coming, where there is a lot of emails. There are a lot of notes that someone has collected. I presume it's Gina Carano. And when you see this stuff, it will blow your face off as to how disgusting this woman is. Kathleen Kennedy and all the people running Lucasfilm, especially over there at the storyboard group. So you guys just got a little taste of what's to come. A little bit later during the stream, he had it again. There's a nuclear bomb that's coming. Just be ready. All of our YouTube channels will benefit once this stuff hits. Now, I'm not sure exactly what this means. For the mainstream press, are they going to care? No. I don't think that they probably care at all. Will it create a bunch of fodder for YouTubers? Oh, sure. I mean, sure. It just generates a ton more negative press. I mean, there's no doubt about that, right? It's hilarious to me. If this email list or pile of emails comes out where she's naming specific YouTubers saying like, hey, these people are bad, I almost wonder if that opens them to a lawsuit. Now, it may be a stretch, I realize that, but who knows what's in these emails? If a channel's big enough, like let's say my channel's mentioned specifically in some way, shape, or form, maybe I want discovery on that email chain. Maybe I'm worried that there's some sort of discrimination, or what if there's collusion between YouTube? Gina alluded to the fact that she'll reach out to YouTube and do all this kind of stuff. What if it proves that there's some sort of shenanigans and deboosting within YouTube at Kathleen Kennedy's request? I think it's pretty safe to say that we know that the reason YouTube got rid of the dislike button is not to help small creators, like they said. It's to help Disney and mega corporations to not get ratioed into oblivion. That's what they did. That's why they got rid of it. Anybody who thinks they got rid of it just to help the little guy, I got news for you. They got rid of it because every time Star Wars would put out a new trailer or a new show or something like that, it would get 20,000 dislikes, and it was terrible. You know, I happen to have a half Asian lawyer that represents me. Maybe it'd be fun to go down that rabbit hole. You know, maybe they give me an in and I see that maybe they discriminated against me. You know, it might be fun to go down that rabbit hole and see what's in all those emails. If they were telling, for example, people to, you know, specifically not do interviews, it seems, I'm not a lawyer, but tortious interference, perhaps, if they're saying, hey, you can't go on these people's shows because they said something mean, maybe that'd be an interesting lawsuit. I've got a lot of lawyer friends who probably be able to weigh in on that. You know, would it be worth it financially? Who knows? But maybe you could find someone to do it pro bono and say, hey, I need to see what else. I need to pull all the emails at Disney and see anytime they mention the quartering or my name or something like that, and see, you know, are they actively keeping stars off my channel because that's hurting my business? You know, that kind of stuff. So it could be potentially very, very spicy, and I'm absolutely here for it, especially given the content drought that's been going on the last 90 days. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it and subscribe or follow down below.